Picture this. You are standing in the blazing desert sun and your scalp is itching. Not a normal itch either. The kind of itch that makes you want to scratch until your skin turns red. Now imagine running your fingers through your hair and feeling something small and alive crawling between the strands. That is the reality ancient Egyptians lived with every single day. And it is exactly why they did something that sounds completely bizarre to us today. They shaved their heads, all of it, every single strand. And here is the twist. It was not about fashion. It was about survival. So let us start with the real culprit, the head louse. In the heat of the Nile Valley, lice were everywhere. They were not just annoying, they carried disease and they made life miserable. And here is the clever part about lice. They need hair to survive. They cling to your strands and they lay their tiny eggs right at the roots. Those little white dots are called nits, and once they are there, they are almost impossible to get out. So the ancient Egyptians figured out a brutally simple solution. Remove the hair and you remove the louse's entire home. No hair means no place to hide and no place to lay eggs. It is like burning down a house to get rid of the bugs inside. And they did not stop at their heads. The Greek historian Herodotus traveled to Egypt and wrote about what he saw. He described how the priests shaved their entire bodies. Every single hair, every other day. Why? So that no lice or any other foul thing could ever settle on them while they served the gods. Think about that for a second. These men were so serious about staying clean that they scraped themselves bald on a schedule. And it worked. When you have no hair, there is simply nowhere for a parasite to call home. But the lice were only half the story. Ancient Egypt was hot, brutally hot. The sun beat down on the desert, and thick hair trapped heat like a blanket. So shaving became a survival hack. A bald head stays cooler in the scorching sun, and it is far easier to keep clean. The Egyptians bathed constantly. They washed multiple times a day. And cleanliness was not just practical, it was sacred. In their world, being clean meant being close to the gods. And being dirty meant being cut off from them. So a shaved head was a sign of purity and discipline. Barbers were everywhere in ancient Egypt, and their razors were made of copper. Shaving was so normal that going bald was the default look. Now here's where it gets really interesting. Because the Egyptians did not actually want to look bald. They wanted the clean head, but they also wanted the style. So they invented the wig. Rich Egyptians shaved their heads and then covered them with beautiful wigs made of human hair. Think about that. They shaved everything off just to put hair back on. But the wig was genius. It protected their shaved scalps from the burning sun, and the mesh base let heat escape. And the best part? The wig was easy to clean and easy to swap. If a wig got infested, you did not have to suffer through it. You just got a new one. Your real hair stayed safe underneath. So the shaved head plus the wig gave them the best of both worlds. Cleanliness and style. And the wig became a status symbol. The fancier your wig, the higher your rank. Even the children got in on the act. Kids had their heads shaved bald too, but they kept one single long lock of hair on the side. It was called the sidelock of youth. That one little lock marked them as children, and it was inspired by the young god Horus. When they grew up, the lock was cut off and they joined the world of adults. So the next time you complain about a bad hair day, just remember this. The ancient Egyptians shaved their entire heads. And sometimes their whole bodies, just to escape the bugs. They turned a gross problem into a clever solution that's shaped their fashion, their religion, and their daily life.